What's up guys? It's been a while, some time has passed. Let me quickly catch you up to speed. You'll notice the 325 is now in the garage. The M3 I managed to fit into my storage, so now both the cars are stored. The only reason the 325 is in here is because I want to work on it right away. M3, I ordered some parts for it a couple days ago. They should be here, but hopefully I can get this car somewhat sorted before I bring the M3 back, so then they're both drivable. Anyways, I'm glad that I waited a few days because one of you guys, actually one of the subscribers, reached out, so shout out Gavin. He sent me, or he left a comment on the last video, and then he ended up DMing me on Instagram, which is awesome. He gave me original photos from when this car was first listed a few months ago. Not from the person that I bought it from, but the person prior to that. I messaged that seller and asked him about the car a little bit, and he was able to tell me everything he replaced, everything he tried to fix, or everything he replaced trying to fix the idle issue. So, good and bad news. On one hand, it's nice to know what's been dealt with, what's been replaced. I'm still gonna go over everything myself just to, make sure. However, it'll lead me hopefully in the right direction to solving this car. On the other hand, it gets me a little bit nervous because the person that sold this was trying to fix it, and the person before that I think was also trying to fix it, and then the person that I bought it from never even tried to fix it. I don't think he actually ended up trying to fix it. And again, this car has very strange history. I'm still piecing it all together, but this car's been sitting for a very long time. So I have a theory, I have a sneaking suspicion, and I'm gonna start working towards that. All right, so we have the car here. This car has been sitting for like 10 years. So prior to, I guess, like the last 6-8 months of operation, it's been sitting. So I'm not sure how long it was before it was driven. I'm sure maybe it was driven every once in a while. I don't know if it was stored outside. And actually, I said in the last video how nice the paint was. This car's white, so it hides clear coat failure really well, but there's actually a ton of clear coat failure on this car. It was just a super bright day, so I couldn't tell. Also, he did tell me that this idle issue completely eliminates itself if I unplugged the throttle position sensor, but then if you do that, trans, I think, goes into limp mode. So we're gonna try that first. But the very first thing I'm gonna do before anything is get this hood off this car. This hood, I didn't think I showed it in the last video. This hood is gnarly. So if you have a hood in the 707 and it's white, or even if it's not, I'd gladly purchase it. There's actually one not too far from me. I might try and go grab. Oh, and also, I think our water heater's going out, which is a little bit inconvenient for timing, and water heaters are very expensive. Also, I managed to take this from my storage because I needed to move it, honestly, to get that M3 inside. So I brought this home, which is nice, replaced an ugly old dresser that was here that just stored rags and stuff. So now I have all my sockets at very ease of access, and then I have way more storage now for extra tools, so that's awesome. All right. More time has passed. I have not had a free second to look at this car yet. I literally have not been able to touch it. I did just get the hood off. I actually have my mom help me pull the hood off. You can do it by yourself. I've done it a few times by myself, but I didn't want to damage this any more than it already is. As you can see, it got pretty chewed up from that hood being bent in the corner. There's actually a hood in Fremont, California. I just really don't want to go buy it because it's a $200 hood, but with $200 hood with gas and everything turns into $300 or more. You can see the clear has faded a little bit on this car. The roof, hard to tell on camera. So, not as clean. This whole car is way not as clean as when I, purchased it. And now that you look in the engine bay, you can see the difference between what was Alpine white and what is Alpine white. And then you'll also see how faded this cowl is. Anyways, now I'm going to unplug the throttle position sensor and see if this car runs any better. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug the throttle position sensor. It is actually right down there, if you could see that. This guy right here, I'm going to unclip it. It unclips just like all these other ones. You just pull up on that little metal bracket. I'm curious to see if what he said holds any weight on this car. Alright, just reconnected the battery. Let's see. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is good or bad news because we now have the throttle position sensor unplugged. So he said he replaced the throttle position sensor. I am now going to, I guess, test for voltage in it. I'm not sure what else I could do to test like how it's good. I'll have to figure out what they're supposed to read. I don't want to just buy a new one because he told me he already bought a new one. If that's the case, he really did buy a new one. I'll have to check, see what it is. Maybe it's some China sensor that isn't going to work. It could be something simple, dumb like that, but really I've never worked on cars like this. So, and by this I just mean I've never been this involved in trying to figure out a car. Normally I just get pretty lucky or I avoid all this altogether, but that's the whole plan with this car. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. I'm not sure how all this works in conjunction together. Again, I'm just kind of taking stabs at everything as I go and just reading forums and trying to educate myself as I work with this car. So pardon my ignorance, pardon my, my lack of understanding and knowledge, but this is kind of why I bought this car, to teach myself a little bit more. But I'm excited that now at least we have that. We know that that's right. So the throttle position sensor, once it's unplugged, this car runs a hell of a lot better. What I am going to do tomorrow is I'm going to test the voltage on the sensor. I think that would be logically the next step to do, because now, I mean, it obviously, at least to me and how I think of things, it points to a bad throttle position sensor. But if that's the case, if he tried everything else and he tried a new throttle position sensor and then he still gave up and got rid of the car, it can't be that simple. So I'll pick this up tomorrow. I'm gonna do some research, do some digging on forums tonight. I appreciate all the feedback I'm getting on Instagram on this car and on YouTube. So if you guys have any ideas on what this could be or how to make the car better, drop a comment. Or I've been posting a lot about this on Instagram, so I really do appreciate the help and the 2 cents everybody's giving me. It is helping me. All right, back with the Alpine 325 IS. Car has to stay out of the garage because we have a serious water heater leak. That'll get fixed tomorrow, but you can see how much water it's gonna collect. I mean, I put that bucket under there about 30 seconds ago. Got it funneling, little funnel there from where it's leaking. But this will be dealt with tomorrow, and then I can finally tear into the car. One thing I can do is test this throttle position sensor, and we're gonna go ahead and do that with the multimeter right now. So we're right at 4, pretty much right where it's supposed to be. All right, welcome back again. This whole diagnosis process is taking a little bit longer than I would like it to for like what I've gotten done so far. I'm trying. My eyes still pretty much swollen shut. It's kind of hard to see, kind of hard to be out here for long periods of time. But luckily we had somebody come and replace the water heater yesterday. So now I've just been organizing, trying to clean up and trying to dry up some of the water. It's pretty much all gone now, but I just don't want it to smell like mold in here or anything. But I got a little bit more organized here with my setup. So I got my main box. This box was in my one of my units. I brought it home, and now it's like a dedicated socket drawer, which is cool. I have some extra storage. Cleaned off this bench a little bit so we can actually use it. As for the car, so as for the 325 IS, there is something going on here, and I haven't been able to figure it out yet, as you guys can see clearly in the video. I have a lot of theories on this car on why it doesn't run right. But there is a few things that I should probably get out of the way and just get done before I even dive any further into this car. Because I'd love to throw some extra parts I have laying around into this car to make it look a little better, to make it a little nicer, but I want to make sure I know the condition of this M50 before we go anywhere further. So you guys can see what we did in this video wasn't a whole lot, but I got a lot of information that is pretty much crucial at this point. Now that I know what I know, if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit more nervous about the condition of the car, about its state, just because after hearing about the previous owners and what they went through to try and fix the car, it could be 2 things. It could be somebody threw a bunch of new parts at this car without diagnosing it, and that would work out in my favor, or somebody really did do a leak down test on this car already and diagnose it, and then the kid I bought it from just never even knew about it, or maybe he did and he pulled a fast one on me. No idea, but we're gonna figure it out regardless. I'm going to diagnose this car further in the next video, or next video on this car. I have some stuff for the M3 I need to get out of the way, but for this car, I'm trying to strategically pick a time to like pull it apart, because I want to be able to start dailying the M3 again, or at least be able to treat it as a weekend car again. So there's a few things I want to get out of the way on the M3 before I really dive into this. You guys saw yesterday I tested the TPS sensor. It actually read out good, like the values were good. I don't know that putting an OEM sensor in there would change anything. My whole guess was that the sensor harness was bad, but when I was thinking about that, knowing the car runs a lot better when it warms up, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm still going to test continuity between the DME pinout for the TPS sensor to the TPS sensor, and then my buddy Sebastian has actually been helping me through this, trying to help me diagnose it. But he mentioned the ECT sensor, so that's actually a good thing to think about, to look into, because that would kind of, I guess, explain why this car warms up and runs better. So we're gonna dive into this car a little deeper. I think maybe it's a combination of either the harness, something in the harness is shorted out, something in the DME is bad, and then in combination with maybe a big old vacuum leak. Luckily, my buddy Sylvester actually let me borrow his smoke tester. So we'll be smoke testing this car next video, or at least I hope so. We'll be going further into diagnosis on this car, so stay tuned. These videos are a lot of talking and explaining, and I guess like my theories and the way I'm working through it in my head, and I'm just trying to put that all out on YouTube on camera, just in case if you're trying to diagnose an E36. I'm hoping that this helps somebody. And then obviously I like to document this just for myself, but there's not a whole lot of videos of people really just diagnosing a car start to finish. Not to say that I will get to the finish line with this thing, but I'm optimistic that we do something cool with it. Regardless of what it needs, at this point, I've been able to secure a place where this car can just sit and stay if it has to. So I'm not tripping about it, you know, hanging out and being non-operable, because I do actually have a place to store it. So we'll just have to swap with the M3 when the time comes, whenever I decide to do what I do. So yeah, this is a 325. I don't know what's going on with it, but if you guys have any suggestions, theories, ideas, I'd be happy to listen. Drop them in the comments. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm always open to suggestions and trying new things with this car. I said it once and I'll say it again. I bought this car with the intention of fixing it, so I'm really hoping to fix it. Whether that means putting a new head on the car, a new motor, a new wiring harness, whatever it takes, I'm gonna try my hardest. Again, I can't make any promises, but that's the goal with this car. So with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next video on this series and for the M3. Thanks for watching. Peace.